have a bloody revolution against the Romans. They don't know if he's going to be like Judas Maccabees. Have you guys studied in the Apocrypha? Awesome. Like Judas Maccabees, who was like some sort of guerrilla warfare guy who hid in the mountains and then run out and attack and then run back. Remember that story about Antiochus Epiphanes and his entrails falling out? Crazy stuff, people. You should read the Bible. It's really interesting. So they don't know what this Messiah is going to be like. So John's job is to prepare them, to take away that fear that there might be who knows what it's going to be. So we're full of expectation. The Israelites are full of expectation about who this Messiah is going to be. There's a lot of joy because they really want to be free of Rome. There's probably a lot of fear because who knows how that's going to happen. And then John the Baptist comes and prepares. And I was thinking about all this stuff this morning, and I thought about in my own life, when have I been full of expectation, and when have I prepared for something that I needed to prepare for? And let's see. I was a high school math teacher for 3 years down in Fort Osage High School in Independence, Missouri. Go Indians? No? Okay. So about my 3rd year of teaching, I started feeling this nudging, it's like, oh, God, stop it. Stop touching me. It's like, God's like, hey, Carla, hey, Carla, hey, Carla, hey, hey, Carla. Carla, hey, Carla. And I'm like, I just felt this yearning to do something different with my life. No more high school math teaching. Oh, and I love teaching high school math. So God and I had a conversation. We chatted a little bit, and we decided that I would join World Service Corps. Hey-o, World Service Corps! And I would travel to the Philippines and live in the Philippines for a year, where I would teach English. We have a school over in the Philippines. I would teach English to 2nd graders. I would teach computers to 6th graders. We only got through the copy and paste. It was hard. And I would support the congregation while I was over there. But before I went to the Philippines, I wanted to be as prepared as I possibly could be. You know, I was full of expectation. I was full of joy because it felt like exactly where I was supposed to be. And of course, I was full of fear. You know, moving to a whole different country, no family, no friends, terrifying, where I was the whitest of the white there. When I was over there, the children, I would walk down the street and the children would be like, puti, 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 puti. You know what that means? White, 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 white. Like, still me. You see me every day. Thank you so much. I would have children come and pull my hair out because it's so blonde and so different from theirs. It was just an entirely different culture, and I was terrified. So lots of joy because I was right where I needed to be. Lots of fear because I did not know what to expect. So what do you do to diminish fear? You prepare. And so in order to prepare to move to the Philippines, I read 5 books on the Philippines. I learned a ton of stuff. The Philippines has the most coastline of any country in the entire world. The Philippines separated into 3 parts. We have Luzon, the big island at the top with Manila in it. We have the Visayas, all these little islands in the middle, and we have Mindanao at the bottom. They have 70 types of bananas. Right? They have these tiny little red ones, and then they have ones that are like this long. 70 types of bananas. How many types of bananas do we know about?
2.
Chiquita. Oh, what? 2? Who said 2? Did you say 2? What are the other ones? Oh, plantains. Oh. 2. Darn it. So, they also, most Filipinos speak English. They don't like to speak English because it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but most of them speak English. Their national language is called Tagalog. And all of them speak their own native dialect as well. So almost every Filipino you meet will be able to speak 3 languages, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, I learned a ton about the Philippines. I learned about their history. I learned about Ferdinand Marcos. I learned about Isabella Marcos, or what's her name? Imelda Marcos, and all of her shoes. Yeah, tons of shoes. Anyway, if you don't, it's okay. What those books didn't prepare me for, though, was the smells of the marketplace in the Philippines, or the smiles of the children as I taught them English, or how I would feel sitting in church not understanding what's happening, and yet feeling the Spirit move still. What those books couldn't prepare me for was running in the yard with my little brother Maxell and playing games with him. What those books couldn't prepare me for was learning Tagalog with my teacher, Sister Boleyn, or going to the internet cafe and getting to type my family, telling them that I'm doing okay. What those books couldn't prepare me for was what the Philippines would taste like and smell like and actually be. So what I realized is there's a third part. There's expectation with joy and fear. There's preparing to lessen that fear. And then, my friends, there is a life to be lived. You got to get out and you got to live that life that you are called to live. Just like John the Baptist did, right? So there's expectation of Jesus. John the Baptist says, I'm preparing for you to meet the Messiah. And then they met the Messiah and then they lived. They understood what it meant to live a life that Christ calls you to live, and they started doing it. And that is exactly what you are called to do too. You are called to live in that expectation of the Christmas season and the birth of the Christ child once again. Live in that expectation. Feel the joy. Feel the fear. Prepare yourself. Don't just make oyster soup on Christmas Eve and make sure you have twinkling lights and make sure that you are, everything's perfectly lit. Prepare who you are for the birth of the Christ child. And then after that birth of the Christ child, yet again in our lives, live a life that Christ calls you to live. Be who Christ calls you to be. Listen to that inner voice, that one that says, go talk to that person. Go do what you're called to do, and do it. Because it's not just about expectation. It's not just about preparing. It's about being that person that Christ calls you to be. So my prayer this Christmas season is that we spend a lot of time in expectation, a lot of time in preparation, and the most amount of time being that person. Being as close to what Christ calls us to be as we possibly can. And that's my prayer. Amen.